Hey guys, what's up? Cardfight here, and today I'm here with a Royal Paladin deck profile. This is the Royal Paladin Stride deck with Saint Blow Dragon. A lot of you guys have been asking for it, so here's the deck profile. It's currently 4 a.m., so I'm sort of tired, and I'm just going to try to keep my voice down so I don't wake everybody up. But besides that, yeah, let's get right into the deck profile. So for the starting Vanguard, we run starting Legend, what's his face? I would run the starting Vanguard, the grade 3 Searcher when I have it, but right now Aegis MK2 still has it, so I won't be running that until I see him. But yeah, this card, he's still pretty decent. Put this card into Soul, and then discard a card. If you do, draw a card. So you can just hit the hand swap and you build up a bit of Soul. Next, I run 3 Knight of Blue Heaven's Alto Mile. He is the Stride unit, or the Stride Break card for Royal Paladins. His skill is Generation Break 2. On your turn, your front row gets plus 5,000 power. All units in the front row gets plus 5,000 power. So that includes, if this guy is in your Vanguard circle and these two cards are rear guard circles, everybody gets plus 5k when he's Generation Break 2. So it's a pretty good card for late game when you don't have a more counterblast to use. It adds quite a bit of power. And after that, his Break Stride skill is counterblast 1. When a G unit strides on top of this card, you pick the cost. If you do, choose 2 cards in your hand and call them into the rear guard circle. And after that, they get plus 5,000 power. So after that, choose 2 units and they get plus 5,000 power. So you don't have to actually call the 2 cards from your hand to get the 5,000 power. You can just pick one counterblast and choose 2 units on your field to get plus 5,000 power. So in case anybody's confused about that, there is that. I'm running 3 because there's a bunch of grade 2s that I want to run, and I want to, yeah. So my other grade 3 is 4 Sting Saber Dragons. Or Thing Saber Dragons, sorry. Apparently that's what they call it in English now, which sounds really stupid, so I'm still just going to call it Sting Saber Dragon. Obviously you guys probably know what he does. Legion, and counterblast 2, so blast 3. Choose 2 cards in your hand and discard them. When this card attacks the Vanguard at the end of the battle while this card is in Legion, you pay the cost. If you do, choose a Sting Saber Dragon in your deck and ride it in stand position, and then perform Legion with a Blaster Blade Seeker from your soul. And yeah, basically it's a restander. His skill has been nerfed. You can't re-Legion after you re-ride with the new Sting Saber. So keep that in mind. And his other skill is, when this card attacks, it gets 2,000 power. So we're running Sting Saber Dragon because his skill, Sting Saber Dragon's skill, doesn't actually require any Seekers besides Blaster Blade Seeker being the Legion mate. So there's no problem running Sting Saber Dragon. And he's a still pretty powerful card, so yeah, you can, if your opponent is low on hand and you know they can't guard 2 Vanguard attacks, you just, ride Sting Saber Dragon and finish him for the game. Grade 2s, obviously we run the 4 Blaster Blade Seekers. You're really not going to use this skill, so don't bother. I mean, you could, but most of the time you won't. Next, we run a tech that was seen in Japan. He is the Jewel Knight, new Jewel Knight support card. So Sodome, I think his name is. His skill is Counterblast 1, Jewel Knight unit. So a special counterblast. And when this card is placed on the rear guard circle, you pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for a Jewel Knight unit, and that's a great one or lower, and call it into a rearguard circle, and then shuffle your deck. So we're running this card because his skill is very cheap. It's 1 counterblast, and you need a Jewel Knight. And you can't see any Jewel Knights right now, but you'll see some in the later half of my deck. And the reason I'm running this is because it's really cheap, so you can fill up your field early on, and you don't need a Jewel Knight Vanguard. So this is very powerful that way. So you can get in some really powerful early game attacks with this card. Next, we run 3 of the Royal Paladin key card. This guy's skill is, when this card is boosted, a Generation Break 1. When this card is boosted, you may counterblast 1. If you search a card that is not this guy, that's grade 2 or lower, and superior call it to a rearguard circle, and then shuffle your deck. So this card is also very powerful. It's a very diverse card, and it's a pretty cheap cost. But he is Generation Break 1, so you can't use him until you Stride, which could be a problem, but most of the time it's not. So yeah. And next, we run 2. What's his face? This guy. His skill is Generation Break 1. On your turn, if you have 2 grade 2 or above rear guards, this card gets plus 2,000 power. And then and he gets a new skill. When this card attacks and hits, you may soul charge 1 and then unflip the damage. So he is a damage unflipper, and he can help you soul charge, which helps with Sing Saber Dragon. So this card's pretty good. He also combos pretty well if you break Stride into him, because then he'll be a 16k attacker. So it's not bad. Next, we run 4 Sherry's. Her skill is, when this card attacks and you have 3 or more Jewel Knights on the field, this card gets plus 3,000 power. So most of the time you're going to use her to call her out with Sodame. And yeah, that's pretty much her main purpose. But yeah. Next, we run 4 of the card that searches out Altomile. Yeah, skill is reveal a grade 3 card in your hand to your opponent, and if you do, when this card is placed on the rearguard circle, you may pay the cost. Search your deck for a grade 3 card with Altomile in its name, and add it to your hand. Show it to your opponent, and then discard a card afterwards, and then shuffle your deck. It's the same skill as the card that Gear Chronicle has. And the other skill is, when this card is paid for the Stride cost, he gets plus 2 grades. So this skill activates from hand. Yeah, mainly you're going to discard him for your Strides. That's pretty much all he does. Most of the time you don't really want to ride into Altomile until you're going to finish for game. Early game, you're probably going to ride into Sing Saber for that 22k attack. Constant 22k attack. And the restanding ability. Next, we run 2 Prisme. Her skill is discard a card, and when this card is placed on a rearguard circle, and you have 3 or more Jewel Knights, you put the cost. If you do, draw a card. So yeah, a lot of times you might not use her skill, but in case you don't have any more Sherry's, she's nice. She also helps you pile up the drop zone, so it's good. And she's a Jewel Knight name, which is good because you can, if this card goes in the damage zone, you can use it to pay for her cost. Next, we run for Jewel Knight Isoldes. You can take these out for the new Perfect Guard, the one that helps you inflict damage, because for this card it's good because it has Jewel Knight in its name and it helps with this card. The downside is you don't get them flip, and that flip is pretty nice because this deck does counterblast quite a bit, mainly for Soul Saver and these two cards. So yeah, but we have some unflippers here to help you, so it's not too bad. Next, for triggers, we run 4 heal, Jewel Knight heals, 8 Jewel Knight crits, and 4 Morgulls, because Morgulls are good cards. Yeah, there's not much else to say about this deck. It's really consistent, really consistent, and it's pretty strong. It hits really nice big numbers. Yeah, if you guys don't, some changes that I can recommend is, if you guys don't like this card, you can take her out for another grade 3. Yeah, most of the times when you're gonna stride, you're gonna discard him or extra copies of Sing Sabers. Because one of the good things about this thing is that you only need one Sing Saber, right? Because it's not a Persona Blast, so you can discard your extra Sing Sabers, and you can Legion them back in, so you can use Sing Saber skill. So discarding Sing Sabers is not bad at all. So yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, maybe you're running too not enough grade 3s, but in my opinion, it's not bad. A lot of times, your opponent's going to be dead by the time you strike twice, so yeah. You're probably going to stride once. Oh, I need to show you my Generation Zone. So Generation Zone, we run 4 Saint Blow Dragon. Where's my SP one? This one. So Saint Blow Dragon's skill is choose a card in your Z zone that's called Saint Blow Dragon and turn it face up. On this turn, for every rearguard, this card gets +2 in power. And if you have 2 or more cards in your G zone face up, and you have 2 more rearguards, this card gets +1 crit. And this card can only be used once per turn. So it's a pretty good card. If you know your opponent doesn't have a perfect guard, you're pretty much going to use this card to finish them off, because it's kind of hard to guard against such a big attack. Yeah. So, because if you think about it, gosh, sorry. If you think about it, if you have 5 rear guards in the field, you get 15k. Wait, am I doing my math right? 5 times 3, 15k, yes. And if 15k, he's 30k without adding the heart. If you add the heart, so he's 30k, 41k, I think. So you're 41k, and this is not counting the boost yet. So if you got the boost, assuming you have a 7k booster, you'll be swinging for 48k. If they don't have a perfect guard, they're pretty screwed. they're going to drop a lot of cards in their hand. And even then, even if they could block that attack, they're probably not going to be able to block a Sing Saber Assault next turn. So yeah, it's going to be really hard to play against this deck. So this card is your first ride target. I forgot what his name is, but it's not important. His skill is, when this card attack hits, you may choose a grade 2 or lower grade 2 or above unit and call it to a Vanguard circle. Oh gosh, my voice was cracked. And then you shuffle your deck. So yeah, his name is Vague Sacred Knight Gablade. Gablade. So yeah, grade 2 above. That's why I'm running so many grade 2s, because you know, you get some free grade 2s out and smack your opponent in the face. Most of the time, if this card hits, you go, oh, I'm gonna call this card, and you kind of lost 1, and then you get a Prisma or something, and then you attack again. So you get a 16k column from if this card hits. It's pretty strong. So this is one of the reasons why this card is so strong. Because unlike him, you can only superior call when you boost with it. So if this card hits, you're assuming that there's a card empty here for you to do. I mean, this card doesn't require you to superior call onto an Oath Vanguard circle, so you can call on top if you really want, I guess. But I don't recommend that. So this card is obviously the superior choice to ride into, or to call with Gablade. And you can just do some pretty nifty combos, you know, with this kind of stuff. Another thing you could do is, for example, Saint Blow, and pretend you have Saint Saber or something. Assume you have something like this. You attack with this already. You attack with this, kind of lost 1. Call this, kind of lost 1. Then you can add an extra card. So you go from not having a column to having a 16k column, which makes this card very, very strong. No, it's pretty strong. So yeah, she's a pretty good choice to try. I know a lot of people don't like running a archetype card without playing the archetype, but I think this is a very good exception. So yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this deck. Stay tuned for more deck profiles. Hope you guys enjoyed this deck, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!